For more on today's D.C. drama and the ongoing health care debate, we are joined right now by Ed Rollins, the dean who served in 3 presidential administrations and was the chief political advisor to the House Republican leadership.
Thank you.
Of course, the dean, and Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the New York Post, Michael Goodwin. Both are Fox News contributors. Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with the health care issue. Where do you see this one going? Are we going to see any resolution? Is repeal and replace now going to happen?
The votes aren't there. I mean, they're down 7, 8 votes on all the major issues. They've tried sort of every piece that they can do. About all that's left now is to put some mini little thing together that they try and get it to conference to keep it alive in any way, shape, or form. But the big important things that they wanted to do to really make a change is just the votes aren't there.
Not there. You agree with that, Michael?
Yeah, it certainly looks that way now.
Are there political consequences associated?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it still boggles my mind that the Republicans don't all want to hang together. They want to hang separately. Particularly in the next cycle, there are not that many senators with at-risk seats, only 1 or 2 really. So I don't know why they are not able to pull this off. Certainly Mitch McConnell has tried everything, all the different briberies that he can offer them to go for it. But I think fundamentally what it shows is that the health care thing is very complicated, and if you're going to take something away from somebody in this environment, you're going to scare them.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, so it's taking away from an entitlement.
Well, that's why they say once you give an entitlement, it's very, very hard to take it away. And so that's what Obamacare has going for it.
And as I have said on your show, the Democrats didn't put a good health care plan. They put a very good political plan together. And so to try and undo that is very difficult. My concern is if you lose on this, which is the #1 issue and has been for most of these people for the last 6, 7 years, it's going to be very tough to get some of these other things through that are so important.
Including tax reform.
Including tax reform.
Let me turn to Jeff Sessions, because it seems as though he's working a little harder these days, Michael. Is that because, and when I say working harder, I'm talking about how he's going after leakers right now. He's looking into the Ukrainian-Clinton relationship. Is that because he's basically had a fire lit under him?
Yeah. Look, I'm one of the few people that I know of who really thinks Donald Trump has a good point here, which is that Jeff Sessions should have informed Trump that he was going to recuse himself before he took the job. Now, Sessions has said, I knew from day one, because of Justice Department regulations, I would have to recuse myself. The ramifications of that are not just Mueller, but now we have Mueller going far and wide into Trump's business. His family members are all being hauled before Congress and will no doubt have to testify before Mueller under oath at some point. Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, Don Jr. over the Russian meeting. So the president, I think, looks at Sessions and says, because of your recusal, now my whole family's under the gun, my businesses are under the gun, Mueller's going through all of my business records. This has been, I think, a tremendous... These are things the president didn't let happen during the campaign.
It doesn't seem as though they have anything yet, but I guess if you dig and you dig and you dig and you dig, the danger with a probe like this, Ed, is there's something somewhere in somebody's file.
I started my career in the Nixon era, and basically was part of the congressional relations team doing the Watergate stuff. And I watched it unravel. I watched it during the Reagan era, which we never seemed to get rid of the special prosecutor on Iran-Contra. I watched it with Clinton. And I think to a certain extent, this administration needs to get this cleaned up. My counsel to them would be, which obviously I don't get to give counsel to them except on television, is you've got the month of August to figure out what you're going to do. And basically, if you're going to make staff changes, get rid of the people you want to get changed, come back here on Labor Day or beyond and be ready to go full bore, because you've got to close this year out with a lot of stuff that's going to be very important.
Can anyone just get rid of Robert Mueller and say, look, you're not going to do this?
Well,
it's done. It's over.
Look, I think if Trump tries himself, it will be Katie bar the door at Congress. I mean, I think a lot of Republicans will desert him if he does that. The other thing is, I think that someone's got to supervise Mueller, and Sessions can't. That's the impact of the recusal. Rosenstein apparently says he's going to have to recuse himself, too. So right now the president is unprotected. The special counsel is unfettered. I think it's not a good situation for the president.
Unfettered, they also seem to be riddled with all kinds of conflicts, Ed. I keep making this point. You can have friendships, and you can have friendships. And in the case of Mueller and Comey, they're good friends. That in and of itself, to me, suggests some problems, and then you got a bunch of people that he's stacking the deck with that have donated to Hillary Clinton and donated to the Democratic Party. And I don't know why you can't just find anybody that is a little more apolitical.
Well,
maybe it's the town itself.
Well, you didn't. Mueller is a guy who has an extraordinary reputation, but he didn't have to be the special prosecutor. He's already had his great days in the sun. So my sense is this wasn't a thought-through thing, and if it was, it wasn't in Trump's best interest. And I think the reality here is if you get rid of Sessions, you got senators that are unhappy with you. Right. Which I'm not saying you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. If you get rid of Mueller, you're going to have lots of trouble. And again, maybe you want to bite the bullet, take the hits, and move forward. Because I promise you, if it continues for another 6 months or a year or what have you, even if you fire someone in that special prosecutor's job, you're going to have nothing but leaks.
Gosh. All right. Well, regroup in September. Maybe that's the answer, as you said.